Hello, welcome to Filmmakers Focus. I'm Renee Cooper. I want to welcome you today right here in the middle of Greenwich Village. I have a great filmmaker to introduce to you. I'm Renee, and I'm here today with my dear friend Chris Notarile.
Yes.
How are you today?
I'm peachy.
Filmmaker extraordinaire, like director, screenwriter, editor, cinematographer, producer. I mean, you really do it all. And animator. You do animation as well. Tell me about just how you started in filmmaking. I know you attended the Visual Arts and Academy School. Tell me exactly what led you into your filmmaking genre.
I realized that animating was very meticulous, and as much as I love to draw, I didn't want to hate drawing. So I said, why don't I make a short film? And I made a short film, and I realized this is so much easier. I just tell people what to do, and they do it. I can make a career out of this.
Well, what's so interesting is that you actually have made a career out of this, and actually he has not done just one short film. Actually, you have more than 120 under your belt. How did you get those films done, low budgets and low time constraints?
Well, actually, we're closer to 200 short films. Yeah, I have a lot of time on my hands. The budgets are actually $0 at quite often. I just realized the easiest way to make movies is to do everything myself. So I make my costumes, I light my sets, and the more you do, the lower your budget is. So I learned that.
That's fantastic. So you challenge yourself in terms of getting the films out and done quickly, but you have a special caveat with yours. You have an online production company, and so people are able to see your films there. What led you in that direction?
I'm just not an idiot. I want exposure. The easiest way to get your movies out there is to put them in social medias where they can be seen. I realized that YouTube, when it came out at the time, I'm like, well, this is really low tech, but I'll give it a shot. And I did, and my first movies on YouTube, the compression was horrible. YouTube was a piece of shit at the time, and now it's, you know, progressed, and now as have my films, so I can get HD quality on YouTube, and I've built a fan base from it.
And to your credit, you've built a really large fan base. One of your films hit, and you had like, what, 8 million hits with that film?
Collectively, I have 8 million hits. Okay. My highest rated film has over 1 million hits to it. Basically, I'd say my top like 10 films, the lowest rated movie is in like the 200,000 view mark, and the highest rated is in the 1 point something million mark.
Fantastic. What has that said to you in terms of, like you just said earlier, even with your not being able to get distribution or having that relationship, you still don't let that stop you. What's the next thing that you're working on up and coming?
I'm working on a couple of things. My next movie is a short film called Dig a Hole and Die. Yeah, it's a great title. It's about a suicide patient forced to dig his own grave at gunpoint. I know, heavy stuff. I'm going to be doing a couple more fan films based on certain comic characters that I like that haven't gotten enough, you know, play. And I'm trying to work on a third feature right now. And that really just depends on how much money I get.
Fantastic. I think you're going to get it. You have great product, and you have the drive and the discipline to get it done. So I think you're going to be very successful with it. But you know what really struck some excitement with me is your series that you do with Catwoman and, of course, girl power, which is one of my favorite phrases that I say to my girlfriends. Tell me about that series, and what do you plan to do with it further, if at all?
Well, I've always been a fan of strong females on screen. My second feature, Standoff, actually is all female cast, and they're in a Mexican standoff basically. But I wrote it as if men were to read the parts, but I wanted women. I cast women on purpose. I like the idea of having women kicking ass and taking names. With Catwoman, that was from 2006. That was there was a short film I did initially called Catwoman Principles, and then I got commissioned to do the Diamond Exchange, which is a web series for a website that is now defunct. I did then Night Waltz with a new Catwoman, and if I can, I'd like to do another film which would kind of go into a darker side of the character. I really think that Catwoman is a powerful role for women to play, and I think she's very identifiable to anybody who's coming to struggle and, you know, dealing with sexism and then just, you know, embracing your own sexuality as a woman.
That's fantastic. I mean, you're quite young in terms of the depth of your characters and how you think and how you put together your films. I mean, what do you accredit to some of your inspirations for some of the films that you do? And you said yourself, some of them are dark.
I would say it's not so much movies. I mean, I have my favorites. I mean, Halloween was like one of my favorite movies. I'm a huge fan of John Carpenter, Christopher Nolan, Michael Mann, Tony Scott, Ridley Scott. I would equate my characterizations of people based on what I've seen in movies and what I have not seen in movies. And I have not seen a lot of what I do. So I like to take characters and push them. So like, for example, I did a short film in 2006 called Our Man. Our Man is a B-lister superhero. He takes a magical pill and it gives him superpowers for 1 hour. Whoop-de-doo, you know? And, you know, he could be a goody two-shoes, but I said, what if he was addicted to his pills? And that's in the comics at points, but I wanted to push him further. What if he overdosed on the pills? How crazy would he get? And I pushed the character beyond his own physical limits, and that was a cool idea. So I basically just watch what's out there, and I say to myself, what if I did it like this instead?
Exactly. So you mentioned the comic books and the characters. What are you doing with that? And do you have plans to merchandise some of your characters and do some branding?
Yeah, I did a short film called The Protector, which I've now turned into a comic book. The book is on sale. It's with Brimstone and the Border Hounds. You can get it at hound.com. Or houndcomics.com. I don't know the website right now. I suck. Just Google it, The Protector. The book is, we're going national with it. We're having a release party and all these things. And the idea, it's funny because The Protector started out as the short film that I then turned into a feature-length script that I tried to get picked up, and nobody wanted to take it on. So then I said, what if I turn it into a comic book to get it turned into a movie again, or retro-engineer the whole thing, because everybody's making comic movies. And the irony is, before...
How to move forward in the future, do you think that you're going to do any theatrical releases at any point, or will you stick to the way that you've been getting your films out in the past?
Oh, hell no. Theatrical is totally determined based on your distributor. If I can get theatrical from who's, I totally would. I have already 2 features. Methodic, my first movie I did in 2007. That was it's on DVD. It was on Netflix for a while. We couldn't get theatrical with it just because of distribution. My second book was made, and I just had the script. I took it to DC Comics, and this one asshole editor looked at it and said, this is a horrible idea. No one's going to want to see it. Sure enough, I got the book made, and everybody who's looked at the book goes, this is awesome. The artwork is stunning. I've taken the book to a lot of heads in the comic industry, like Neil Adams, for example. Neil Adams pioneered in the 60s, 70s, and 80s rights for comic artists. He drew, I believe he actually drew Superman versus Muhammad Ali. He drew all these famous covers and whatnot. And I showed him the book. And I've been talking to Neil on and off about the book for, a year. And he basically looked at the book. He's flipping through the pages, and he says, this is good. I go, I know. He goes, no, you don't understand, okay? I get guys sending me artwork and comics all the time, and it's crap. This is really good. Where did you go right?
Where did you go right? You are going right. I'm so excited about your career. You just are taking charge, and you're not stopping. I don't know where you get the energy from and how you're going to continue to reproduce that. What are your hopes and dreams for your film company and your production company in the years to come?
Global domination.
I see that for you. I see that in your future. So what do you do to have fun?
It's X-rated. I can't say that.
Okay, is there anything that you can tell us that is G-rated for our Filmmaker in Focus fans?
For fun, I go trick-or-treating every year on Halloween, actually. I go to comic book conventions, I go to comic stores. I'm a big kid. I just bought a Super Soaker the other day.
Okay, my goodness, that's fantastic. I mean, actually, that is exciting that you found something that you love, your passion, obviously.
I basically, I turned my hobbies into a career. So people say, what do you do for fun? I say, I go to work.
Now, how is that line going to draw when it's time to balance and maybe do family and have a balanced life? Or is that in the future for you?
Oh, it's going to be awesome. If I have a child, I'm going to train them to be a deadly assassin starting at the age of 5. So they're going to know martial arts, weaponry, sword play, and they're going to be able to do hostile takeovers. Then of course they'll be on set, and people you ever bring your dad to work day or something like that, and they're like, what does your dad do? My dad blows shit up, has aliens and superheroes at the house, and on Halloween he scares the crap out of the neighborhood. I love it.
That's interesting. We'll hold on that. So, in our lead out, tell us and the Filmmakers in Focus audience, how can they find you? How can they get in contact with you? How can they like you and get on your Twitter and so forth?
Wait.
Here it is.
Just go to my website. Go to my website, blinky-productions.com. You can check me out. High quality films without the budget. Hopefully that will change one day. But yeah, shameless self-promotion. That's what I do best.
Fantastic. It's been great talking with you. I love Greenwich Village. Thank you for your time. And I look forward to seeing all of the new films and the productions that you'll be doing in the future.
Thanks.
Have a great time. Thank you. This is Renee on Filmmakers Focus.
Movie Standoff, we just finished it and we're getting distribution for it. If we can get limited, that'd be great. But it really just comes down to the distributor and what they want to do with the film. I use YouTube basically as a way to keep my finger on the pulse of what people like. I get feedback from my fans and they say what they want, and I either take it or I leave it.
Exactly. That's awesome. You have actually gone above and beyond any brick wall that is coming your way. You've not letting the process get in the way to get your films out. You haven't said how to move forward in the future. Do you think that you're going to do any theatrical releases at any point, or will you stick to the way that you've been getting your films out in the past?
Oh, hell no. Theatrical is totally determined based on your distributor. If I can get theatrical from movies, I totally would. I have already 2 features. Methodic, my first movie I did in 2007. That was it's on DVD. It was on Netflix for a while. We couldn't get theatrical with it just because of distribution. My second